another Let's Talk with the Doc. I'm excited to be here this evening. As always, I am grateful for goodness, mercy, and grace that I can be here to share this time with friends, loved ones, professionals, ministers, you name it. And tonight I'm excited because I do have with me in studio, well, not in studio, but linking up with me Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney joining me from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I'm excited to have her tonight because I want to find out what her story is as she climbed the ladder of success and ministry. So there's got to be a story behind this. So when I come back, I'm going to be talking to her about her journey, her story, and you're going to share it with me. All right, so hang in there. When I come back, we're going to have that conversation. ORB Ministry presents Let's Talk with the Doc. Grace Without Borders podcast. A thought for you. Ask Pastor. And a whole lot more. You never know what's next or who will join the conversation. All right, my friends, here I am, and we are live, and I have with me Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney, and I'm excited to have her joining me tonight, live from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And so I want to welcome you, Pastor Tony. Thank you for joining me on Let's Talk with the Doc. Hold a second there. Hold a second. I got you muted. I got you muted. Here we go. Here we go. Good to have you.
Good night, Bishop Beckford. Good night to one and all. It's good to be here.
All right, so I am glad to have you. As always, I sound like a scratch record because every week I say, I'm excited to have guests joining me, and I could not see this one coming, but here we are tonight with you joining me live. I'm excited about it to find out a little bit more about you.
Right.
So welcome to Let's Talk with the Doc, and then begin to tell me something about Shelly-Ann Toney before she became Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney, Minister Shelly-Ann Toney. What's your story? Tell me a little bit more. Narrow it down where you were born.
So, born and bred in St. Vincent, in the village of Stubbs.
Stubbs.
Grew, yes. You
Okay,
remember
all right.
Stubbs?
I know about Stubbs. Yes.
Right. So, bred in Stubbs. After a little bit, we moved to the village of Carapan. And went to primary school in Stubbs, then to a convent school.
So it all Stubbs, and then
Yes.
well, you left from Stubbs and you go to and then you went to convent.
Yeah,
That's Catholic.
Catholic.
Okay, all right. So give me a little insight about All right, but we're gonna get to the Catholic because that's interesting. That's interesting already. That's interesting already about the Catholic school. So give me a little bit of insight about what your memories are about the Catholic school. At what age do you go to Catholic? Is that middle,
From
primary?
about 10, 11.
Okay, so that's a little bit high up. So we're gonna go back a little bit. We're gonna come back to the school, but let's go back a little bit before we get to the school days. Tell me about your siblings, family dynamics. What were things like, young Shelly-Ann growing up? Where did
Right.
you
So
fall?
grew up
Do you
with
have
my mom
siblings?
and dad. I
Okay,
have 7 brothers and sisters. So my mom
okay,
have 8 children,
okay,
5 boys and 3 girls. I'm the second to last.
okay. So you're
The last
down
girl,
the bottom of the aisle.
yes. the last girl, but the second to last. There's one brother after me.
Okay. So, all right. So, tell me, what was it like being the sixth or seventh,
Seventh.
the
Seventh.
seventh in the family? I mean, you got all these older siblings. What was
Right.
it like? What was Shelly-Ann like
Growing
in
up,
that atmosphere?
in that household was fun. My dad used to always make it his business to play with us. We get in from school. Yes, you do your regular, wash your socks, wash your top. You had to do your chores. We had animals, whether it's rabbits or ducks or sheep, goats.
Oh,
We had it
really?
all, chickens.
Oh,
So
really?
you do your chores, and then there's always some time to play
You had
before
a,
you.
you had all sheep in when you were growing
Yeah,
up. Oh, wow,
yes.
that's
We had it
interesting.
all. I grew up on cow's milk because my dad had cows as well.
Yeah, I know about the cows milk. I know about the
Right.
cows milk thing. Okay, so you never milk cows, right?
Yeah, man, I tried.
You ju-
I tried. I
you
tried.
tried. I tried sound like I tried, but I didn't succeed
No, man. I mean, I wouldn't. I did the one. Probably did it once,
once. Okay,
but
so that's a little like experiment.
yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So I'm curious about the atmosphere among your siblings. What's the temperament? What Shelly-Ann's temperament? How did she was it respond, communicate with siblings? What were your temperament when you were growing up?
Oh, well, see, everybody looked out for you because, like I said, you were the last girl.
Okay.
So my biggest sister acted like my mom. My brothers were very protective, so they would walk me to school, pick me back up from school, act as a big bully if somebody tries to lay a finger or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's always protected. I can remember vividly. You get to say eat what your mommy cook, but when your brothers still cook, you get to eat that too. So it's good.
So your brother's like cooking dolly parts on the side.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, we all been there. We all been there, done that. I have
yes,
scars. I have scars in my forehead that I talk about. My own scars. I was about between 8 and 10, somewhere there, when we were cooking dali pot on a Sunday evening, and the result of closing an Ovaltine pan and sealing it and popping it open with my face over it, I had almost
yeah.
lost my.
I can
So I
imagine.
have my scars until now, and those like about almost 60 years now since those scars have not removed. So I know
Yeah,
what that is like. All right. So your temperament was calm. You responded to siblings. You do what you do what they say. When they say do this, did you just do it, or you kind of say, yeah, I'm not sure. Do you have that kind of resistance?
no, man, not really.
No. So
No,
you were a good girl growing up,
no. I tried.
obedient, nice girl. Don't get a lot of flagging because you're okay.
No, I mean, like I said, I was the baby sister in the house,
Okay.
baby girl in
All
the
right.
house. So
All right. All
yeah,
right. All right. All right. So you had good days. You had good days. All right. So you're
yeah.
going to school now. Growing up, going to school, and you're going to a convent. You're going to a Catholic school. So that's a little bit different from the average school. So what do you find? What did you find unique? Um, Not what I wish, I love it. I wish I was going to another public school where give me a balance in that. You
No,
just kind of love it or what?
not really. You see, what stood out at the Catholic school was the fact that discipline was a must. So my principal then, she's no longer alive, then and gone, Sister Patricia Patrick. She was Dominican,
Okay.
but she was in St. Vincent, and um, so she looked at you. As a matter of fact, I remember from a young age, she would say to me, "Walk with your head held high. You're a lady map." Because my surname then was Map. You're a lady map. Walk with your head held high. Don't don't bend over. So she kind of have that, and she instilled that in you.
Your lady, your lady,
It was
your lady
yes,
map.
you had yeah,
Lady map. I haven't heard that one before. Your lady map. I haven't heard that one before.
yes, yeah. So I mean, she believed in pushing students,
All right.
and that was a good thing about it. She was also part of my formative years, in the Bible because she did religious education. I remember, I could vividly remember what we studied in Acts. So we did the whole book of Acts. And, she instilled it in you, even though we did RE, as we call it, we refer to it then in the lunch period. We still look forward to going to it. So I got it in church on Sunday. I got it in Sunday school, and I got it at school. And so that was part of my formative years,
Mm-hmm.
of what I learned about the Bible. And that was good.
So you so tell me about the family, parent and church kind of thing. Tell me about that because you're getting it at home, you're getting it at church and school.
Yeah, my mom was, again, she too was a disciplinarian. My dad would not hit you too often or talk to you too hard. But the moms,
Yeah,
we always believe we got to get it in.
yeah,
So my mom was that. My mom also was instrumental in taking us to church. So we got to go to church. I grew up at a time when everything was happening in church. Every day was at church. Every day was church. So Monday night was ABM. Tuesday night was the Dorcas Club. Wednesday night we had prayer meeting, Bible study. Thursday night was Women Ministries. That's Thursday. Friday we went to youth ministries, and Saturday we might even go back for prayer or even to clean. So my mom
yeah,
would go, and once my mom is going to church, we are going to church.
yeah. So she was in the church all those days, all those years. So
She
you
was, yes.
so you're like one of those kids who say, I was born in the church, so that's all I know.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, that's all I knew.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So I get it. I get it. The only difference we had is that the days that you call, we had different days because Mondays was WMB for us.
Oh,
Women's ministry, but it was WMB when on Mondays. So our days were a little bit different. But then Saturday there was a time when we get into Gleaners band. So there was always
right.
something, and
So that came into a little bit later.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then some
Yes.
people are cleaning church, and all of that stuff.
Yes.
There are certain sisters who always clean church because they got to make sure.
Oh, yes.
Okay, all right, we got it, we got it, we got it. All right, so Catholic school, always in church. So everything about you is kind of church related, like all of your formative years, as you say, like okay,
Yeah.
I'm at school in church, I'm at church in church, I'm at home in church.
Correct. As a matter of fact, my mom had this stand that she believed that if you can't read properly, you're gonna have to learn because you're gonna read the Bible.
Okay,
And so every morning for devotion, we gather around and everybody had to take a verse. And if you're stuck on a word, she's gonna, push you along. But at the end of it all, you're gonna read.
you're gonna read. Okay. And you didn't have any resistance in any of those. You just kind of fall in line because
No, we just,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
No,
All right. All right. So as you grew up now and you okay, I mean Catholics, when did you leave the Catholic school? At what level?
what we call Form 5, where we do your CSEC, your CXCs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then where you went after that and then okay.
I went to Trinidad to
Oh, so
study.
you went to Trinidad. All right. Okay, okay. And that's for the high school level.
I did my ACCA, so I did my accounting studies in
But that
Trinidad.
was a little bit older than just leaving.
Yeah, so after school, I worked for probably 2 or 3 years. I don't think it was more than three, but 2 years max. And then I went to study.
Okay. So then when did you know what you really want to become, what you want to
So
pursue?
in Right, so in Form 3, I don't know what they call it, standard, whatever now in New York or in
where where,
USA.
where I come
But
where,
in
where I
Form
come from, they call it where I come from, they call it farm suite, so we can know.
Right, so you understand, right? So in Form 3, we actually had where we had clashes with subjects. So Form 1, Form 2, you did everything basically. You did the business, the science, the social sciences, the math, the English, and everything else. But when we get to Form 3, that was the form that we basically split. So you either go into business or into science. Granted, I was good at both,
Oh, really?
right? And
Okay, okay.
I remember one day I sat and I'm like, because I had this lecturer who was teaching biology, and he was from North America, and he was like, one day at class, he was like, "Oh, tomorrow we're gonna dissect a frog," and he was so hyped about it, and I couldn't see the hype in it, and that was my decision maker. I said, "No, no, 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 I'm going to go to business."
Oh, wow. I remember they used to do all that in the sciences. I never joined that part of it, but I remember they used to open these creatures,
Yeah.
pull them up,
And
pull
I
them
mean,
apart.
he was so looking forward to dissecting this frog, and I couldn't see the joy in it, to be honest.
So that's where your mind changed. I'm not going down that path. I'm going somewhere else.
It wasn't without some issues because my mom got called into school. Like I said, I was good at science, so they were gearing me towards science. But at that juncture, I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm gonna take, because at that time as well, biology was clashing with accounting. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna take the next one. So I'm gonna go to accounting. Never did anything in accounting. Always into sciences. But that was when I made that change. I mean, like I said, it didn't go down well with Sister Pat. Um, and my mom was a good one because her response was, okay, so I'm only paying for it, but she's studying it. So whatever she's comfortable with, that's it.
Well,
So I got the support.
that's a very good thing when your parents say, you know what, because parents make big mistakes sometimes because
True,
they chose a path that they think that's going to be best
true.
for their child, and they look down the road
Yeah,
on what it can turn out to be, and sometimes that's not the inclination of the child. And some people have wasted a lot of money and wasted a lot of their children's lives trying to get
true.
them to get familiar and get them to like something that they don't like. And only when they realize later on down the road that we have wasted so much with the child life and the child still don't like it. So that is a plus to your parent, to your mom. And is she still alive?
Yeah, but even after I finished my O levels, I'm like, okay, I'm going to study law. And she was like,
Uh,
lawyers are liars. No, no, no.
that is typical Caribbean people, right? Typical
She put her foot down.
typical Caribbean people, where we grew up, we just think that Christians couldn't be liars because liars always
Correct.
lie, right? And we never thought that Christians could be policemen either so liars and police with it, yeah. A little bit more lenient on the police side, but the liars said the liars can never tell truth. Liars and politicians, they just said they can't tell truth, so stay away from those things. All right, so
Yeah,
it's good that your mom was on your side. Is she still alive?
she is.
Well,
She
give her a
is.
shout out from me and tell her kudos.
Will do.
Kudos to her to say, that's what she wants. That's what she's gonna pursue. So I'm curious a little bit about why were you in inclined to do science? Were you just good at it and then you're gonna go the path of science, or there was something that you were aspiring to climb to from science?
At that stage, no, I don't think I had an aspiration at that stage, to be honest. It's just that I was good at it.
Okay.
I mean, my mom put us in our mind, B is for books and not for boys. And so when you go to school, that's what you study. So I was
Oh,
just basically doing my work
you're
at
gonna focus
school.
on the B, but not boy. It's gonna be both.
Correct. Correct.
Hey, my friends, I'm talking to Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We're gonna get to her climbing ministry later on, but it's a good time for you to hit your share button and invite your friends to join us as we have this conversation. All right. So I'm a little I'm a little curious, and the reason why the teacher was so upset was because they saw so much in you and had so much
Yeah.
expectation out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was doing, like I said, I was doing good at chemistry, I was doing good at biology. And then, I mean, halfway through the pack, you decide, I'm not going to do any more bio. I mean, I still continue with chemistry. So when I did my O's, I did a mix. Because I mean, I kept saying to Sister Pat, what if I don't decide to? What if I want to change? I need to have something to fall back on. So I mean, granted, these days they're focusing on gearing children straight to whether you're sciences or business. But in my day, I had a choice. I did a little bit of both.
Wow.
I did Spanish, I did social science,
Wow.
I did straight science, and I did business.
Wow. Wow. Are you still scientific minded, or you kind of just throw it out because?
I don't pay a lot of focus on it now. I mean, I'm more, like I said, I work in finance, so I'm more inclined there. But I mean, I guess the thing is, that's my motto. I do what I got to do. So,
All right, all right, all right. Okay, so you decide you're gonna do accounts,
business.
business. Okay, and I can see as a result of where you are now, that tells me that you did very well. Give me a little insight into the process of that, the switch into this. I'm gone completely from this side. That is on the garbage heap for me, and the frag did it for me, and I'm done with that because I don't want to go into take it even to a higher place, because after frag it might be something else.
Exactly,
Gonna go to a bigger creature, a bigger a bigger
exactly.
animal next time. Okay, there are a lot of people who aspire to become nurses and doctors, but the moment they realize that they have to face cutting things and dealing with blood, that was a turn off for a lot of people, and they just pursue something
Yeah.
because they just can't handle the blood thing. And so I've heard a lot of that story. Okay, so now Shelly on this side, I'm going into business. Give us a little bit of insight in that, and how well did you do on that?
I continued. I went to my business class. I got my support from my mom. I went to my business class, and again I excelled. Um, got my O's. Like I said, I worked for like 2 years. I did a little bit of business again while I was working, and then I went off to study.
So now it's college,
Yeah,
higher levels. And
I
where
love.
did you go? You went back to Trinidad for that, or where did you go?
I went to Trinidad and I studied. Yes, so I did HC at that time. I didn't go the route of going to a bachelor, then an accreditation. I went straight to the accreditation.
Excuse
So
me,
I did.
excuse me,
Yeah.
excuse me, please. Excuse me, please calm down and stop showing off. So okay, I skip some levels, right? I skip some levels.
No, man. No, it was optional, so I took it.
Okay, so you felt you were that ready that you didn't have to take these gradual steps. I'm going big.
Yeah,
You say go big or go
yeah.
home.
Go big or go home.
Oh my goodness! Wow, I didn't know. I didn't. Well, I mean, I couldn't know that. I couldn't know that. So I remember. I was trying to recall you as a young lady when I was in St. Vincent. I was trying to recall that because it was brought back to my attention. Oh, well, I used to come to church when you were there. Tell me about that. Tell me about that period. What do you remember in that period?
So, like I said, I had good foundation. I grew up with another sister who would take us to church. So, yeah, as you know, when the bigger folks are having their church, we went outside in some cuckoo to
What is
have our
cuckoo?
church. Oh, the cocoa pod, that make chocolate.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right.
So, again, the church that we went to, Victoria Village.
Okay.
So adjacent to where the church was located was a field where people plant their cocoa.
Oh,
And so but they allowed us to go in there. So we took our benches or chairs, whatever. We went in there on a Sunday morning just to be away from the church because the church at that time was small. And we had our children church. So I mean, again, Sister Margaret, she poured into us. So again, you're getting the word of God
which
again.
mar which mar which
I
mar
grew
which
up with
Margaret was that?
Margaret
Oh my
Shallow at the
God!
time.
You know Margaret Shelly was my really good friend, right?
Yeah.
I lost Margaret somewhere along the line, and I don't know where in the world to find Margaret. I think I heard that she went to England or something. I just can't run
Yeah,
into.
she's somewhere up north.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I just can't. She was such a great friend of mine. But let's not get distracted. But go ahead.
Right. So I grew up. So Margaret taught us at Children Church. She was also part of youth ministry. As a matter of fact, we even had a whole band, a girls band, where we basically sang. Um, we sang backup for the likes of Life Boy. You may not know Life Boy, but he's Vincent.
Mm.
And so we used to have these nice gospel shows. in St. Vincent, and so we were there. Pastor Jacqueline Sam was also part of that band
Okay.
with Margaret and her sister Maxine,
Oh my
and
God!
was my
As you talk
cousin
about Maxine,
Sheridan.
I forget. I totally forget Maxine. Where in the world is she? Do you know?
She's still
She's
here.
still in Saint Vincent?
She's on Facebook. I'll link you.
Oh my God! Please do. Did I know Maxine was in Saint Vincent? I spent almost a week down there and didn't even know that she was.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, that's
yeah.
a big loss for me. But let's not get
I'll
this.
link you.
Please link me up with Maxine. All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much. That's gonna be a plus for me tonight. All right, keep it going now. Tell me about. Let's go.
All right. So we grew up. I grew up again in as we call it VLB then, playing Antigua. As a matter of fact, I remember you vividly when I think we had public speaking at Bible. And yeah, so Victoria Village won. I represented Victoria
Oh
Village
wow. Wow. I cannot remember that. My friends, I don't remember that because I left St. Vincent
so
1995.
long.
1995, I left there, and for those FYI, those who are just watching, she's filling the gap. We're gonna get to that. She's filling the space that I had when I was in St. Vincent, the ministry. So she has come a
Yeah,
long way back then, and I would
yeah,
have never thought that she'd be sitting in the seat that I sat as district overseer for St. Vincent and St. Lucia back then and the Grenadines. But now we're gonna get to that part of the story. All right, so that's your memory. You were at Bible, you had public speaking, and you won for Victoria Village.
yeah,
When I came back, when I saw you not long ago, I can remember the face as a young girl face, young lady's face growing up, but I could not remember any of the events, right? But I couldn't remember any of that. But so, 28 years ago since I left St. Vincent,
yeah.
28
Well,
years
that's
ago. My God, that's a long time. Anyway, that's not my story. It's your story. All right. So tell us now. But who was a pastor back then when you were in Victoria Village?
when I won the public speaking, that would have been Ray Victory.
That's what I was thinking, that it was victory. And again, I came to St. Vincent and I did not see him. I was hoping to see him and I didn't see him. So I didn't fulfill my heart's desire in St. Vincent as much as I wanted. Some of the people that were under my ministry that I
Yeah,
wish I had gotten a chance to talk with them
but he
personally.
was
And I
at
did.
convention. You probably missed it. But he was at
Bishop
back.
Bishop Payne told me that he was there when we
Yeah,
were going home, like after the fact, and
yeah,
I
he
saw it and said,
was.
"Oh
Yeah,
my
he was.
God, I didn't get a chance to see him." So
Yeah.
that was my loss. All right. We're talking to Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney, and she has climbed the ladder of ministry. All right. So tell me now, where did you go? You finish you take your big step, you get out into business, and after you came back home, what happened?
So I came back to St. Vincent and I started to work to get my. So even after I studied, I still need experience to get my full-fledged qualification.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to work at KPMG. I spent a couple of years while at KPMG, climbed the ladder. And when I got to KPMG, apart from the two partners, I was the only other qualified person. And so I climbed the ladder, and then I got my qualifications. Got to put the letters behind my name,
Okay.
and yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. You got the letters behind your name, and so you got a big job somewhere.
Well, I mean, I still walked the ladder up. I remember I worked after I left KPMG. I went on an EU project, EU funded project, within the Ministry of Agriculture in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah, and then I climbed the ladder, if you want to call it that.
Okay. So how many steps of the ladder have you climbed to where you are now?
Right now I'm a finance manager.
Somebody here knows you. Somebody who's a Philippa map is saying, "Oh,
That's my
she's
sister.
the youngest qualified CPA in her days." All right, all right. That's a proud sister. Kudos to you. All right, we can take that.
Yeah, so I mean now, so presently I'm the finance manager. I also had some regional I will share regional portfolio. So I
Okay,
can have
all
some
right.
big hat, a big hat and some big shoes.
Okay, all right. So let's find out about the shows because I didn't know all of that. I mean, I'm not privy to anything, so I'm not saying that I should have known, but that's what I get out of having these conversations to say, tell me something about your story. So you have regional hats, right? Regional hats, is that a
Yeah,
plural?
so I would have acted in a supervisor position for St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Grenada, Dominica.
Excuse me. Excuse me. And that's in the field of
Accounting.
accounting. Oh wow. Wow. Pretty cool. Pretty
A
cool.
lot of work.
Well, it comes with a package, right?
It's a
And,
lot of
and, and,
work.
and, and if you take the responsibility for 4 islands, then you're gonna expect, say, okay, one island is good, is big enough. So you have four, then that's
Yeah.
four pieces, but at least you complete the quarter because there are 4 quarters that make the whole.
Oh,
So
true.
all right. So out of those 4 islands that you're kind of is that supervising, which one you find it to be more challenging? Which one was more, which one it was more challenging?
I don't think
And
I
and
looked at it
maybe
in
and
that
maybe
light.
why without giving me internal.
No, man, I don't think I looked at it in that light. The thing is, we all share similar operations. And then with the technology being so wide and quickly available, it's easy for me to have a meeting with whomever, wherever, sit wherever you are, and you know what's happening in the other island. And like I said, we share same systems, so it's easy to pull up and see what's happening there. I mean, it's a lot of work because one island, as you can imagine, is a lot of work. But yeah.
So are you a lenient boss, a heavy hand boss? Is what kind of boss are
Well,
you?
I could tell you that within the last couple months, I've been nominated as top 10 manager
Oh wow, wow, we're cruising here. We're cruising top 10 manager, and that's for how broad?
for the
For the,
entire Caribbean and North American market and the Spanish market.
Wow, so I gotta take my hat off. I gotta take my hat off. I don't have my hat on, but I will take my hat off to you. So now, no, in Jamaica, Jamaican lingo, they say respect, right? Respect to the sister.
I got that from my Jamaican counterparts.
Respect to the sister, right? Respect. Wow. Wow. You see, I couldn't know all this kind of stuff. I mean, not that I ever disrespected you because we sat down at lunch and we had our conversation. But I mean, had I known this, and I would have give you more respect at the lunch table. So I would have said,
That's why you didn't know, huh?
I would have given you more respect at the lunch table. So I had no clue who I was talking to. My goodness. But that I am so proud of you. That it doesn't matter to you, but I am very proud of you just to hear that and to know that that is somebody that I know. Kudos to you. Top 10 in the
Thank you.
Caribbean.
Not just the Caribbean, but like I said, North America and the Spanish
Top
market.
10 in North America. How did they calculate that?
So we normally have a survey,
Okay.
and so based on the survey and based on what my staff would have nominated me or scored me,
Okay.
if you want to call it that. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That is incredible. That is incredible. That is incredible. Top 10 in North America. I mean, listen, there are hundreds of thousands.
True.
There are hundreds of thousands of people. It is now I can see why Bishop Payne didn't find it any stress to now I know why Bishop Payne found it so easy just to say Shelly-Ann Toney is gonna be this person. Wow. That is incredible. That is on the business side. That is on the business side of it. That is absolutely amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And I don't know some of these people who are joining me, but I see some friends are joining here, some of these friends that I've never seen before. Some of my good friends are here, and some never seen before join my program. They are here tonight because guess who is on? I see Alicia Laborde and Silma Walk, Silma McLean, and CQ Payne. I mean, listen, man, I've seen some people here that I've never seen before. But I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Indeed.
I am talking to your favorite person. Now I know I'm talking to your favorite person, Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney. So it's now hit your share button and invite your friends to join us because we're having an unforgettable conversation. An unforgettable conversation. So invite your friends to join us and let's continue this conversation with Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney. All right. What else? What else? What else on the business side? What else on the secular world? What else that I have not known that you could just drop in here just to keep on blowing my mind?
Well, from time to time, I get to act as boss, overall boss.
Uh,
Like I said, like I said, it's a lot of work. It may look simple, but it's a lot of work.
from time to time, I get to act like a overall boss. Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. Randall Rodney. God bless you. Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm having Trinidad in the house. I'm telling you, like I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
that's Pastor Randall. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Shout out to you from Trinidad. Good to have you. Good to have you. I'm talking to your favorite lady here. This lady that stands out in the Caribbean and in the North America. And it makes me even more excited and proud to have you on this program. Oh, my good Lord, look who I have here. Delia Oliver is joining this program. My good Lord. Is anybody left in St. Vincent? I'm going to have to go back and check to see who are the dignitaries in St. Vincent that didn't join this program when we're done. All the people that I know from all the long time are on this program. My goodness, my goodness. All right, you go, mommy. I see even somebody say you go, mommy here. So all right. Let me not get distracted because I'm getting a little bit distracted because I am excited about that. I just want to let you know I am excited about that. If I knew all of these things about you, I would have given you a little more respect when I was in St. Vincent.
No man, that's
Okay,
fine. No man,
but I'm just saying, oh my God,
that's fine. That's
that is
fine.
amazing. That is incredible, incredible. All right, so tell me now, is that you're where you are now? How long you are where you are?
10 years,
So
ten
you're where
plus
you are
years.
10 years. Okay, okay, and that's where you maybe gonna say this is it for me. And or are you aspiring? Do you have one eye somewhere else and say if something bigger pops up, if I see a whale versus a shark?
We'll see what the Lord do.
Okay, we'll see what the Lord do. So that tells me there are possibilities.
Yeah, man, there are always possibilities.
Always possibilities. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're clearing up on that side of the secular, which you blown my mind on the secular part, and that is amazing. That is amazing. I'm sure a lot of people who know you know what I don't know, and so what is news to me is not news to some of your friends, but it's absolute news to me, and I'm excited about that good news. And I'm glad that I knew you from at least you knew me. They
Way
say
back when,
they say
exactly.
I was Sunday we had friends and family day, and my sermon was geared on friends and family and friendship with Jesus. And there's a difference in loving somebody and being a friend of somebody. You can love somebody without them even knowing you are knowing that you love them, but you can't be a friend unless there is something mutual
Correct.
between you both. You can't not know a friend, right?
True.
Because if you don't know a friend, is not a friend. And so Jesus said, I call you friend if you do what I command you to do. So it
Right.
takes it takes a lot to be a friend. All right. So tell me now about the ministry part of your progression as you when did somebody say, okay, she's not only good at what she does in the business world, but she's really a good Christian girl or
So
a
the thing, like I
Christian
said,
lady? At what point did you begin to climb? Somebody discover something in you in ministry, or did you pursue something? Tell me how that side of Christianity went for you.
Right. So like I said, I grew up being in church every day basically, and you don't just go to church and sit down. And then back in that time, whenever you go to church, be prepared to be used. Whether I mean, I've moderated women ministries service with big old women than me. I'm the youngest of the lot. I've led song service as you call it back then. You always call upon whether to read or something. And so I grew up in that kind of atmosphere. But nowhere in there had I ever had any kind of inclination that I was going to be a pastor. I
Mm-hmm.
never thought about it. Um, Not sure why. I can't tell you I knew why now. But I remember one day my one of my former lecturers at Bible school came to have a presentation at church. And as they started to talk, I could actually hear God saying, you gotta register, you gotta register, you gotta register. And so I registered for Bible school. I started Bible school, and yeah, it just keep going from there.
So you just felt a drive, a passion, a need, or some whichever one you kind of call it, to say, expand or in my education, my biblical knowledge, without
Yeah.
without a purpose behind it, was just that an inclination. And so you know what, I just want to do it for me, or I am preparing myself just in case. What was what?
No,
How
man,
did
I
how
thought
did
I was just looking for knowledge.
Just looking for knowledge. Just looking for knowledge. All right. All right.
Because I
All
mean,
right.
like I said to you, I mean, you're always called upon to do something.
Okay.
And so to me, you need to be some to have some level of preparation.
You know what I love about what you just said to me. You know one of what I love about that is that you you didn't wait until you are in the shaft to say, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do now? I'm gonna have to do something to get myself ready to get in." You prepared yourself just for the average thing.
Yeah.
That's not what the average person does. That's not what the average person does. And the reason I think you did that is because fundamentally education means a whole lot to you.
Yeah, we had to push. We had to
You
push for
you
more.
you knew that you can't become really good at anything if you, well, I can't say anything because some people are good at something that doesn't need education. So some people are good at hands-on things. So I gotta
Mhm.
rephrase that. But if it comes to
Okay.
anything intellectual, right, you're gonna, if you're gonna be good at anything intellectual, you have to educate yourself on that.
True.
People like me, when I started, when I was called into pastoral ministry, nobody ever tell you anything. I didn't climb up the fast ladder, and like the you came up. And there was not the provision
Mm-hmm.
for ministers back then.
Okay.
Talking about 50, 40 years ago, there was not the provision for ministers. There was not the requirement or the demand or the no, no, no. Scarcely anybody was educated back then when it comes
True.
to ministry. Even if you have gone to school, people
Mm-hmm.
weren't educated from a theological standpoint. You'd say, okay, I've gone to Bible Institute. There's some organization, but like ours wasn't down that path. So people
Right.
like me, who was hungry for knowledge, had to seek my own path out,
Okay.
to pursue things outside off, and run after things where I could find them on my own. All right, but coming back to you now, so you decided to go to Bible school and dedicate yourself,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing what the Lord had in store for you. Where at what point did they somebody say, "I see ministry in you"? Who? And I see your sister say you had your mother behind you, kept you grounded. But at what point did Shelly-Ann see ministry in her, or at what point did somebody say, "I see ministry in you"?
So I think that would have been when I started Bible school, and my then professor, they're gone, Dr. Ruth. He would always say to me, because he would try to push me to everything. And I'm like, why? Why? And he would say, to whom much is given, much is required. And so he would say that to me every time I ask why. So
Okay.
I think at
Okay.
that time, yes,
Okay.
it was
So
a New Testament Bible school.
okay. Yeah, and they have a history of having Bible school, and ministers need to pursue biblical knowledge before they put them into ministry, etc.,
Yep.
etc. All right. Um, so kudos to you, and then, all right. So your professor is saying, come on, push yourself, get it, get it, get it, and you say, oh, you never know, right? Somebody say you never know. No, no, I'm still curious. At what point did somebody say, Sister Shelley, I think I see something in you. I want to. What are your thoughts on ministry? Have you ever thought of it? How did that conversation begin? Before you become a lay minister, because that's the steps we go through, right? We go through the steps of becoming a lay minister, then we become licensed minister, and then we move up to etc., to other levels. Where were you, and who was your pastor then who made the first discovery, and when and where did that happen?
I want to think that would have been Pastor Samuel, I
Is
think.
it so long that you can't remember?
No, I have some. No, 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 man.
are you
I
are you
think
be,
that
are
would have
you are you
been
behaving to be old as I am?
no, man. No, that would have been around Pastor John or Pastor Samuel's stage where we went. So again, I was always doing something in church, and then yes, we got set forth as lay ministers. And I remember vividly one Friday night because I was again a part of actively in the youth department. And we used to go to youth department on a Friday night as well as practice for worship. And one Friday night, the youth didn't turn out. Pastor, Pastor Jacqueline, she wasn't pastor then, but Sister Jacqueline and I and Enil and Petra, the Pastor Samuel's children, and then Sister Moisha as well was there, and we were just going to do our worship rehearsal for Sunday morning. So after the youth then pop up, we said, okay, we're not going home, we're gonna worship. And so we started to do the rehearsal, and then of course we got into worship, and I remember vividly that I was in Victoria Village, and I was saying yes, Lord. I mean, I was so into it, and I was saying yes, Lord, yes, Lord. And at the end of it, I'm like, what are you saying yes to, Shelly? What are you saying yes to? But I was just saying yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. And then not too long after that, Bishop Davy, I think it was Bishop Davy who approached me to
Mm,
Pastor Tony, I want you and Minister Tony to go to Restaurant Park. And I'm like, is that what I was saying yes to, Lord?
okay, okay. So when you go to Richmond, who was the pastor of Richmond Park when I was there? That was one of the Samuels.
It probably would have been either Pastor Joseph Samuel
I think
or
I think it.
Arnold Daniel.
Oh, yeah, I remember Daniel. My God, oh my God, it's been so long. But it
Yeah.
may have been. Well, let me not speculate on that and get distracted. But yeah, it's been a long time ago. All right, so now somebody discovers something into Shelly-Ann and say, we want you to become a lay minister, and then your response.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I always believe was only what you do for God last. And
Okay.
if I could throw myself fully into the civil or the secular side of things, I could do the same for God.
Okay, all right, all right. I can't argue that. I can't argue that. Listen, I see that I see that in Saul, right? I see that in Saul, who became Paul. The man was radical, completely sold out when he was killing Christians in the name of
I
his
know, right?
of law. And now now Jesus turned him around and he's as radical as it gets. So hey, if I'm gonna be all in on that side, I'm gonna be all in on this side too. All right. So okay, so you are appointed lay minister, and where did Shelly-Ann go? How did
Right.
that
So after
unfold?
that, we
How
went. I was called to be pastor. I was asked to be pastor at Richard Park.
how many
Been
how
there
many how
since
many years after that you were appointed?
2009. After the minister, probably about two or so.
Who was your district overseer when you were called?
Bishop Henry Davy.
Oh, Henry David was it? Okay. So he had eyes on you. He spotted you, and then he because he had some plans to futuristically to get you into something. So he was, hey, okay, all right, all right, all right, all right.
Yep.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And so you're passing since 2009.
Yep.
Okay, 2009. So where we are now, 9, 10, and 20. So are you gone 14 years now? You're into 14 years.
About
About that. And you're at the same place.
Richmond Park. Yeah. Now I have another one, but you know that.
Okay. Yeah, you're okay. Okay. All right. All right. So we're gonna get to that. My friends, I'm talking to Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and you hear the story. And if you're just joining us, welcome to Let's Talk with the Doc. I'm excited to have her. I'm gonna give her a chance to get a drink of water, and we come back, then we come into the next level of ministry. So hang in there. You get a drink of water. When we come back, we're gonna continue the conversation.
Okay.
Every Wednesday. And Twitter.
Everyone has a story. Do you want to tell yours? Stories are inspirational. Maybe God wants to use your story as a life changer for someone. But that will never happen unless you share it. Not only that, it could be a life changer for somebody, but it could also change your life as you release yourself. Let it go and get rid of it. Tell it to somebody and change somebody's life. It will never happen unless you share it. Do you want to share your story? Email orbministries@gmail.com and let's talk with the doc. Heaven will record the lives you have impacted and the lives you have changed. Are you ready to share it? Let's go. Let's do it. This is the book they've been talking about. The 7 churches of Asia Minor, or the 7 churches in Revelation. If you want to know about the letters that Jesus sent to these churches, you gotta get yourself a copy of this book. Scan the QR code to get an ebook or a paperback, and then you can find out a lot more about these churches and the letters Jesus sent to them. All right. Thank you. So here we are back with Reverend Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney. All right. So she's climbed up the ladder and she's unstoppable. And until now, she has not plateaued yet. And we don't know where she goes from here because now she's among those who kind of, that they use the quote unquote, broke through the glass ceiling, and quote unquote, break through the glass ceiling, and she's climbing the ladder of success and progress. All right. So I come back to what I said before. Now I know. Now I know. And I was kind of in the convention, and I'm just saying, I'm listening to the appointments, and I'm saying, man, they're pushing her around, but I didn't know all that you had to offer. I didn't know that it was what do you call it now? Uh, I'm trying to find a term I could use, but it was like an easy decision for the bishop to say, okay, we're gonna ask Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney to become our district superintendent. Um, tell me a little bit about in your reflection in retrospect as you looked at that. Um, and I don't want to put you on the spot of asking you about aspiration here on that, but but aspiration, inclination. Maybe it's good to ask a curious question before we get. Did you and kudos to Pastor Sherry-Ann.
Mhm.
Sherry-Ann, what are what's the irony here? We have Shelly-Ann and we have Sherry-Ann and
Yeah.
Shelly-Ann. What's the irony here? Is that going to be an an? Is that to be an an in the middle or something? Is it got to be an hyphenated and somewhere there? So we're gonna take it, but um, at the unfortunate, at the unfortunate departure and the unexpected
Mhm.
departure of Pastor Dublin,
Mhm.
or the lady who broke the glass ceiling in the island, broke the glass ceiling, crushed it. At the unfortunate departure of her, before they asked you to take up that position, have you ever within yourself say, I hope they don't ask me, or I wonder if they're gonna ask me. What anything has gone through your mind? Then there's no crime, no charge. Because no, you're there. So, from a personal
Oh
standpoint.
man, I remember when Bishop Davy was stepping down. Because I mean, we always work close together. Pastor Dublin, myself, Bishop Davy. I
Mhm.
mean, and other pastors as well. But we. So I remember he was stepping down. He's like, okay, so I'm gonna step down, and Bishop has asked me for names, and he said, I give him your name and Pastor Dublin's name. I said, it better be Pastor Dublin's name and not mine. he said, he said, why? I said, man, I got a whole little family there. So I mean, so it was even out there, even before, and I'm like, he's like, no man, no Pastor Tony. I think you have the capability. I said, yeah, but Pastor Dublin's in it longer than me. She has it. And so I say, I'm gonna support her 20, I'm gonna support her 150%. And so Pastor Dublin got the nod, which no hard feelings. Like I said, I'm gonna support her. And so, but we still continue to work close together.
Wow. Um, Again, we're not reflecting on Pastor Dublin, but at the same time, we can't forget her either,
Oh man, she's an integral
because
part of the
because
process.
she was just such a wonderful lady, and just by
Yeah.
listening to her, what her vision was, what
Yeah.
her vision was for the island, and the thing that she had pursued, and
Mm-hmm.
and the strange things that God allows or didn't prevent. We will never have answers to them.
True.
We'll never have answers to them, because God is past finding out, and
Yeah.
God not have to give us no internal insight into what His plans are and the reasons behind it. And He owes us nothing to give us any explanation and anything, because He's God. I think Peter asked the Jew who questioned that he went into Cornelius's house and sat with him at meat, and
Yeah.
you heard that you ate with Gentile, he said, if you knew what God did to me, in this vision, and how he
Yeah.
rebuked me about don't call things that I cleanse common.
Something
And
else. Yeah.
he said, who am I? Who am I
Mm-hmm.
to question God? Who am I to ask God any or to respond or retaliate to God and what He does? So in the same question, I say, who are we to question God? And sometimes we think God shouldn't do what He has done. I should prevent it because what we can see in our natural eyes,
Yeah.
there was so much that she had to do, and there's so many
Yeah. She
plans.
was poised for
There
it,
were
to be
so
honest
many
with you.
plans she had, and she was poised.
Yes.
The strangest thing that she had
Yeah.
just retired and was ready to go full-time ministry, and the Lord said, "Oh, scoop it up."
Yeah.
How did and again this, and I'm not sure if this is a good question, but it's kind of personal. um where were you in that moment when you look at your friend who you're supporting, and she had so much to offer and she's ready to pour it in? How where did that hit you, and how?
I tell you what, so I was actually acting country manager when that happened. So, remember Alyssa called and she's like, I'm like, no, no. And so I hung up from Alyssa and I called Pastor Jacqueline. I'm like, and she's like, no, let's pray. And we start praying. Listen, if we could have prayed our back, should have come back.
I'm sure.
I said to Pastor Jacqueline after the fact, I said, that's why God didn't put her down, like bring her down sick. I
Hmm.
said, if God had brought us sick and it was there, I said, I'm going to pray when I pray for that woman, she'll come right back up. And so we were, Sister Jack and I just prayed, just praying, and then Alyssa called back and said, no, 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 no. I've worked in this company for 10 years plus. I've never one day yet looked at the ground and it looked as if it was calling me to sit. And that's why I ended up on that Friday morning, that Friday after that call. I was actually on a meeting when Alyssa called me. But when she called, I looked at it and I saw it was her and I answered. And after that, I was tuned out of everything. I found myself on the ground in the office, in tears. My coworkers came and like, we've never seen you like that. What has happened? And so, I'm talking to you now, and I'm actually going back over. I'm reliving the entire process.
Yeah,
So,
we don't want to break you down, and stuff like that, but we're just facing it because it confronts us,
yeah,
and we can't walk
I
away.
didn't see it, to be honest, and I didn't, like I said, she was so poised. This was like her launch pad, and I was saying to her, yeah, well, I'm going to support you. I mean, I was jokingly said to her, you rule, you have more balls than the men, you rule, you know? Yes.
Oh
And
my
yeah,
God. Oh my God. One of these days, God will give us answers. When our imperfect minds become
true.
perfect, we'll understand the things that we do not now understand. Because right now,
True.
some things that God allow does not make sense to the human mind. But God doesn't ask us what He should do or shouldn't do. He's God
It doesn't need
all
permission.
by himself. He doesn't need counsel, guidance, and nobody need to sign off on anything that God does. All right. So okay, so that happened. We're gonna bypass that. We're gonna leave it there because our hearts are broken. I mean, I am here. I am here in the distance as far as I am, and my heart it was as broken as anybody could be, and I was in awe and dismay as anybody could be. But then it is what it is. God does what He does. All right. So here we are. Here we are. Here we are. What happened into Shelly-Ann's mind when that happened? After the grieving and the loss and the disappointment and the shock and the awe and the disbelief and the what they call it, the five levels of grief. When did you come to acceptance and say we have to move on?
Well, so the same night we had a meeting on Zoom. Bishop Payne led the meeting, and while we were on the meeting, he
Yes,
said,
Sister Silma, God bless Pastor Dublin's sweet soul.
indeed,
I attest to that.
yeah. So while we were on that meeting, Bishop Payne just threw me in the spot and said, "Okay, I'm going to ask Pastor Tony to say something." And so being a leader, these things you have to lead doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen it, I've experienced it on the job, and so I put my camera on and I said, we can't roll over and die, or we just can't throw our hands down. Um, we gotta pick it up and continue. So I said something to that effect. I said, no, it still hurts, because yeah, it still hurts. I say, because at that time, as I remember, we were also planning for a regional convention.
Yeah.
I say, it hurts, it's difficult, but she wouldn't want us to just roll over and die.
Hmm.
So we got to pick it up and just run with it. So at that time, I was still trying to be strong for whomever and whoever. But of course, in my quiet time, I would still be asking God why, or trying to relive our conversations, you know, and see,
Hmm.
had I missed something in all of this,
Hmm.
and so.
Wow.
So I basically say, I'm gonna just have to do whatever I can do to move the work along, and that's it.
I see, sister, and understandable. I think Sister Jacqueline Sam will say it's still raw here,
Yeah, it is.
and
It is.
that's gonna be raw for a while,
Yeah,
um, because memories don't leave like people do. And every time we make progress, every time you guys make progress, or you look at something that you could have done, or you have to tap into something that she had suggested, or something that she started, or something that she had a conversation about, is gonna come
and
back
then
into
the
the
thing
mind.
is, she
That
has left her mark on everything, so
yeah,
you can't get around it, to be honest.
yeah, yeah,
But I try to, and I said this to Alice, I said, we gotta live on the good memories.
yeah,
Try to focus on the positive things. Um,
yeah, yeah. So you end up falling in the mantle fell on you. So the mantle was temporarily on on Sherry-Ann to kind of give you an insight of what she had to offer, and say, hey, okay, so come right behind me, and pick it up where I left off. Um I see Elisha and Elijah.
like
I see Elisha and Elijah, going up to cross Jordan, and everybody, all of the sons of the prophets and all, everybody saying, yeah, your master is gonna be taken away from you today, and he knew taken away from him. He knew it, but he said, hold your peace, hold your peace, hold your peace. And everybody said, oh,
yeah,
why are you still going? But hold your peace. But then he said, what I wanted was a double portion of Elijah's spirit,
blessings, yes,
a double portion of
blessings.
Elijah's spirit. and 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 I hope you knew. I hope, and I'm sure you're very very smart, very well taught, educated, learned. So you would know that Elisha actually did get a double portion
Yes, he
of
did.
Elisha's spirit and prophetic ministry. He actually had twice
Hmm.
the amount of miracles that Elijah had.
Yeah.
Now, Sherilyn didn't get the chance to complete what she had in mind. God had other plans, but
Hmm.
now here comes. So that's why I'm saying I'm curious now. There we have Sherilyn, and now we have Shelly-Ann, right? And so so somewhere now we gotta. It's like, how close is that? Is that Elijah, Elisha, Sherilyn, and Shelly-Ann? Come on. So no, maybe you never look at it like that, right?
I never looked at it like that, right?
No. So I am the source of inspiration here right
No.
now. I'm the source of inspiration here right now. So we're looking now. We are praying and looking for a double portion. We are looking for a double portion of whatever God had in Sherilyn's mind, for him to bring it to fruition through Shelly-Ann.
It's a big shoe to fill.
It is a big shoes to fill, but guess what? The shoes belong to the Lord,
Sure.
right? The shoes belong to the Lord. The shoes belong to the Lord, and if He puts it on your feet, He knows where you're going to walk.
I know.
He knows where you're going to walk, and He has been preparing you for the moment. He has been preparing you for the moment, and you're gonna do well. You're gonna do well. You're gonna do well by the grace of God. So, my friends, I'm talking to Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney, who is so well. We I think we crossed that river already about the ladies breaking through in Saint Vincent. The ladies
Woman
breaking through.
power.
The woman power. I saw somebody talk about woman
Sister
power. I think it was
Pastor
Silma
Selma.
talking about woman power. I know Silma like the power. She like the woman power. Yeah, okay, all right, Silma. I know you like the woman power, but listen, I have no grudge. I have no grudge because I am fine with woman power, men power, as long as there is power. Right? As long as there's power, that's fine with me. I can take the woman power or the man power. I just want there to be power. So we wish you the best. So coming into the convention, and now you've been appointed to take up this responsibility as a district superintendent, and they're now kind of using euphemism, right? They're using euphemism now because they come up with all these new terminologies, and I don't know, they're getting all these, there's certain connotation to district overseer and
Oh,
all
yeah.
this crazy stuff, or parish overseer. I don't buy into the reasons behind that. And again, I'm an outsider. I'm not the critic, and I'm not the one who create. But as far as I am concerned, I hold the right to my opinion. I
True.
hold the right to my opinion, and I'm not speaking for the Church of God of Prophecy. I'm speaking for Orville, Beckford. As far as I am concerned, I don't see, on the grounds of what I heard, they come up with these superintendents and regional bishop and all this kind of stuff, and don't want to call it overseer. I don't buy into the reasons behind it, but we accept it. So but I'm gonna call you district overseer.
Fine
It's
with
not
me.
it's not on your title. But I'm gonna call you district overseer. They can call the district superintendent as much as they want. I'm gonna call you district overseer. All right, because Sister Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney is sitting in the seat of district overseer where I sat from 93 to 95, or 92 to 95, as district overseer now for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Give me an insight into where you see that going now, in terms of your vision for the parish, or the parishes, big parish, little parish, not parish, it's island. Yeah, I forget it's not Jamaica. Jamaica we have parishes, but it's okay. Island. All right. Where do you see that go? I know. Pastor Sherilyn has done a lot, laid a lot of foundation. You guys were close. You had discussions on where we want the island to go.
Yeah.
How you see your vision now going forward, and taking the
Right.
bull by
So, I
the
mean,
taking the bull by the horn, as the saying goes.
so the thing is, we're still building on the foundation. So a contractor don't start a house and the other one come and lick it down, right? So the foundation was laid by Bishop John, laid, built upon by Bishop Davy, build up again on by Pastor D, and then I'm just here to again put some touches on the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're still sharing the same vision. We still need to ensure that St. Vincent is, we basically let them know about God. So we're still evangelizing St. Vincent. We're still working together with our social groups to ensure that it's all about kingdom building. So yes, we looking for, or we will encourage and welcome members into Church of God of Prophecy, but it's a bigger picture. It's all about the kingdom of God. It's getting St. Vincent evangelized and saved for Jesus. If it means that some is going to go into this church or that church, some come to prophecy, once St. Vincent, the bigger picture gets evangelized. So that's it.
That's a great approach to it. That's a great approach to it, because sometimes our vision is a little too narrow. And sometimes when we pursue something, if it didn't come to fill our church, we don't think that we did well, right? We
It's
don't
about
think that
kingdom.
we don't think that, so kingdom is bigger than church. So that's a
Mhm.
great approach to it. And the impact will the outreach will have its effect. And even if people didn't come to your church, there will be others who will say, boy, the people from the
Yeah.
Church of God of Prophecy did this, and
Yeah.
did this. As a result of that, here's some of what the seeds that they sow. They fall here, fell here, fell here, and they're going here.
Yeah.
That's still. And by the way, the reward for that is not members in your local church, is when you get to the judgment seat of Christ. That's where
Exactly.
the reward comes for what you have done with ministry. So great pursuit. I see Alicia, giving you 100% support. And by the way, Alicia, I would love to talk to you one of these days when you're ready. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. I'd love to talk to you one of these. When I was in St. Vincent, you were a little baby, a little baby when I was in St. Vincent.
True.
So I would love to talk to you. So just bear that in mind. Put it on your calendar. I'd love to have a chat with you. That is as close as to your mom as I can get by talking to you. She was on my program last year
Yeah.
or somewhere thereabout, and
Yeah.
I was hoping to talk to her again, and it just didn't happen. But Alicia, just know that you have an open invitation to chat with the doc right here. All right, in the ears of everybody in St. Vincent, they hear it now, including your district superintendent. All right, okay, all right. So what do you see? And we're just going. We're trying to go. We're going to be wrapping. Okay, you're still at your workplace. I know you got to get home. I know St. Vincent is not a a 40 miles to drive to go home. So that's good. But what do you see as? Let me go back into pastoral work before we get into the overseer, district overseer thing.
Hmm.
What is what you see as your big from a pastoral standpoint? What do you see as your biggest challenge now, or has been your biggest challenge?
So you see
All
the way
right,
we
great. I get a kudos. Yeah, she's looking
right,
forward. All right, all right.
right. So the way we grew up, with a mentality that, and I mean, as Pastor Jackson said, you grew up not with, not, or not wanting to say no, or you can't say no. So if, for example, you pop up to church this morning, like, oh, you're gonna sing today? No, 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 I ain't prepared for that. Oh, you're gonna testify today? I mean, we're in an age now where, as if you have to pencil in something in somebody's calendar to say you're gonna testify on Sunday, or you're gonna do worship tomorrow, or you're gonna, sing a song tomorrow. Um, we grew up in an age where we were taught to always be ready. And I think that's one of my biggest challenge. Because like I said, it's only what you do for God's gonna last anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I grew up again hearing, if you have a talent, you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. More than that, the talent that God blesses you with is to edify the church. It's not yours. If you decide to leave, that talent is for the church. It stays there. You find your own wherever you go. So I think that is one of my biggest challenge.
You know what? I can attest to that. And I can see that this generation, and I think again, this generation is not as spiritually connected as we were
No,
when I was young. They
true.
are not um dutifully inclined as we were. I remember I was telling people just the other day that when right now nobody testifies now. Nobody testify. You have in your testimony service, you have a congregation of people, and nobody testifies. Nobody want to testify. I remember when I was a young Christian, everybody testified.
Yeah, you just pop up, pop up,
Everybody,
pop
as
up.
a matter of fact, there was a time when we joined lines, and one after the other, the whole line
Yeah.
full. They got to sing
Yep,
a
yep, yep.
chorus in between because too many people testifying, and so they got to sing a chorus in between to get the rest to testify. And there was a time when they called for testimonies, and two, three people started to testify one time
One time.
because everybody wanted to give their testimony. So, oh, okay,
Yep.
hold on. Let me take this one first.
Yeah, that's sister stuff.
As young Christians, when we were teenagers or even before teenagers going to church, we practice, and back then we
Oh yes.
practice our testimony.
Oh, yes.
Because we want to give a good testimony, right? We want to give a good testimony. We practice our testimony, and as a result of that, we try to testify first. Because if you wait too long, somebody might testify your testimony.
Yes.
And you have to go back and come up with something else. But nowadays people don't want to do it. The spiritual connection, the zealousness,
Yeah.
the zealousness, the fervor and the fire and the and wanting to share it is not there. So I am 100% with you. That is not a St. Vincent issue. That is a world issue. It looks like now,
Yeah.
or at least a North American issue, where people don't really that people want to come. They don't want to do nothing. They just want to be there. They don't want to be called to do anything. They don't want to. They don't want to prepare for anything. By the way,
Correct.
by the way, preaching, preaching.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a revival, and nobody told you that you were going to preach. You go to church Sunday night, and when they
On the
start
night.
testimony
Yes.
service,
Yes.
the pastor comes in and say, "Get ready, you're going to preach tonight." Just come in your ears and say, "Get ready, you're going to preach tonight." Right?
Yeah.
And you better find something. And I know back then, it was different. We don't know what we preached back then. We don't know what kind of knowledge we had, what we preached, but we were ready to do it. We had the commitment, the zeal, the excitement, the desire to do something. And I think we have lost that spiritual passion.
Unfortunately.
We have lost the spiritual passion, and I don't know how we get it back, because it's something that becomes chronic and contagious, and people don't want to be.
Is, you see it even in the secular field. Sometimes you look at some workers and they pop up at 8, so that's the right time. They pop out at 4, again, that's the right time. I mean, you don't. I mean, we say that church, whenever church finishes, another church starts, because you don't want to leave the building. You don't want to leave. You're talking, you're mingling, you're fellowshipping. Yeah, but it's just there. It doesn't matter where you are. It's just there, and sad, but it's also the church.
I pray to God that there will be a renewal of a fire that will consume the hearts,
indeed,
of God's people, that will make us want to express what we experience, what God has done, what it means to us, how it has transformed our lives, and how we want that to be passed on to somebody else. We keep on praying. Don't get discouraged, because you never know, there might be a breakthrough. Keep on saying what God wants you to say. Keep on doing what God wants you to do, and you never know, one of these days there might be a spiritual breakthrough where people are going to want to talk again about the Lord. So that is for local church, and I see that that's a big issue. What you see now going forward as your biggest challenge as the district superintendent?
Well, I mean, I've not yet seen the challenge. Maybe I'm not looking deep enough. I'm not yet seen the challenge. So in St. Vincent, we work closer together. So I can always call Bishop John, or call a Pastor Williams, or call a Bishop Davy, and we work closer together. I can call Sister Silmore, Pastor Silmore. So I don't see a challenge, to be honest. I see us still working together. I pray that we will continue to work together, again, because we're selling the vision. I mean, at work, I say to my coworkers, we're in this together. And so even at church, we're in this together. If you want to hashtag it, but we're in this together. And so I just want us to, to share the vision, share the vision, and just run with it. We gotta ensure that, again, we be there for the younger ones. There's a song that I love. It says, "Oh, let all who come behind us find us faithful." And that is my biggest desire, so that whether it's my children or my youth at church, they find, they can see the footsteps that we leave, and they try to walk in them, even make bigger steps. But that's what we need.
And I pray God bring that to reality for you. You know what what I missed in the whole of this. I missed as you talk about my children. I missed that about when did Shelley think about getting married? You know what? And I never asked about this sanctified girl growing up. You know this sold out to the Lord girl. You know when did her life switch to become double? I never asked that, and thank you for talking about that because I don't want to. So tell me, let's go back a little bit in the early days and just kind of pick up that little piece. When did that happen and how?
So I got married 2000, 23 years this December.
Kudos to you. And
Um,
where did that
I
where did that
remember
happen and
when,
how?
so I knew him well. I've seen him. Not didn't meet
Hashtag
him.
we are in it together, says Alicia Laborde. Hashtag we are in it together.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
So I saw him because at one time he popped up at my parents' house looking for some help for something, which of course, if you know my mother, she don't turn anybody away. So, but I mean, at that time, that wasn't on my focus. I went to study. I came back. I keep him. They actually went to audit at where he works, and of course, to me, he was just being too friendly. And I was like, no, this guy is just being too friendly. No,
So you went there to audit and he wanted to audit you.
clearly. And so even when my coworkers and I would be walking in the street and he would pass, he always want to say hi and um, always want to offer to lend me something, and I'm like,
Uh-oh.
no.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I just thought he was a bit too friendly,
Uh-oh.
but
Where
I guess
did
he
where did he, where
succeeded.
did he go to church?
He went to another Pentecostal church,
Oh, not
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 the
not
same
your
one with
church,
me.
not our church body. Okay. All right. All
No.
right. All right. And then when were you persuaded or say okay, okay, I'm falling for it or what?
Well, somewhere along the line, I guess he won my heart. Not guess he won my heart because I no longer thought he was just being too friendly.
Listen,
And then we just walked away from
you
there.
know what? If I
Yeah.
was if I was talking to him, I would ask you the question. I remember like 50 years ago, maybe about 50, maybe 50 years ago, or pretty close to that, 48, 50 years ago, we had when we used to have Sunday school golden text and Sunday school theme and thing. We had a golden text, a Sunday school golden text that says persistent brings result. That's almost 50 years ago. I have not forgotten it. All right. So if I talk to
That's what he was.
yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Tony,
Very
right? Mr. Tony, I
persistent.
say, yeah, he can say he can attest to that persistence brings result. So he won your heart, and then tell me, how it unfolded. They say who any
Yeah.
other
And then
insight, and he said, okay, okay, did you just say, okay, you bother me long enough, or
no more. We were just friendly. I guess at the onset. I mean, I said, okay,
okay,
guess no harm in talking to him. So we spoke, and then it grew from there.
okay, all right. And when you married 2000, you said, oh,
2000,
that's
December
23
2000.
years, and you have any children?
Four.
Four
I
children.
have one daughter, three boys. The last sets of twins. You know
Oh,
them. So
oh, did I meet your kids? Did I meet?
you met the
Oh
twin
Lord have
boys.
mercy!
Yeah.
Oh my God, I kind of forgot what they look like now. But how old are they?
My daughter is 22.
Oh, so
My
you ran right off. You ran right off. You
right
no
on.
time wasted. Like bam bam, we're ready. Okay.
Then my second child, son,
Oh Lord,
he'll be
is
17.
this is what your sister saying here? He wore her down like the prince of the world
And
cometh
then
and
I
had
have
nothing
two.
in me.
Then the twins just turned 7.
Okay, all right, all right. So that's it. That's it for you now.
Yeah,
Maybe,
man, that's it.
maybe.
Well, the thing is, I thought 2 was it. And up to this day, I said, God really have a sense of humor.
Yeah, have a sense of humor, and sure, and he still have more sense of humor. So you never know, right?
Well, I pray he don't throw anything in my
No.
favor.
Just Lord, keep my path clear now. Let it not be. Let it not be. All right, all right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am so happy to talk to you. I am so happy to talk to you. I'm so glad you accept this opportunity to talk to me and stayed at work extra late time so you can have this conversation. And I think it was a wonderful conversation. I want to give a shout out to all of my brothers and sisters, friends and neighbors, those in St. Vincent that knew me and those who don't know me, those who I know and those who I don't know. Some of the younger ones I wouldn't know them because if they're under 28, if they well under 28 is not even good enough because I saw this young lady and she's working at it was interesting because I saw her mother and at the convention and her mother was talking to me and I remember her mother by looking at her and I saw the little girl and she said and now she's a big grown woman and her mother said when she was 5 years old
Mm-hmm.
she remembered when she was 5 years old and I put her and Shavika down to sit at church because they were maybe the two busiest girls in church and she recalled at the age of 5 that I put them to sit down and keep quiet while we were having church and she remembered up to this day she remembered so it meant a lot to her and surprisingly when I was leaving St. Vincent I walked to the airport and she was at
And
security.
she was there.
She was working. I said,
Yes.
"Oh my God!" She was working in security. And another guy working there said, "Oh, you actually blessed me. I know that you blessed me. When I was a baby." I said, "Oh my God! Look how far we have come." So anybody who is less than 30 something plus, I wouldn't remember them. After 28 years, if they were 5, I wouldn't. I remember their parents, but I would remember them. As I said. So kudos to all the friends and family in St. Vincent. Some of you I will never forget. Some of you have impacted my life in so many ways. Sister Delia, she was always preparing my cornbread. That's where we went for dinner on a Sunday evening. I will never forget. She and her husband how they treated me while I was there. Their arms
Right.
were so open. It was just wonderful. So, my sister, thank you so much. I am so glad I able to come to St. Vincent at the convention just to renew my presence there and to see some of the people that I've not seen in so long and to be part of that. I was so happy to be there. And I'm glad to be there when you get your appointment. And not to mention some of those people like I saw, like Zonel
Yes.
and Silma and Pat, all these people are being ordained while I'm there. I said, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
that just topped off." And you know what? I tell you what that you didn't
Yep.
know, and we close it. Pastor Samuelson, the musician, right, the
Yeah.
musician leader. With the song that I sung at the convention, right, and I asked him if he knew the song because I wanted because the song is a little bit not easy to play. He said he knew it. That was Friday night.
Uh-huh.
Saturday afternoon, I saw the guy and I'm saying to him, wanted just to thank him for playing the song as well as he did. And to my shock, he said to me, "You are the reason why I play music. You are the reason because I was playing keyboard or guitar while I was there. Sometimes the soul of the
Mm-hmm.
musician until the Williams family came by and we got a couple more musicians. But I was
Right.
shocked. I mean, of all the things that I was expected to hear, I
Mm-hmm.
never have thought that I, who is
Uh-huh.
not a musician, could be the sole inspiration of this guy who's now the musician for the island. Is just like incredible. So I say this to say that to you too, that you never know
True.
the lives you will touch and the impact you will have and how you will shape other people's lives. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You don't just keep on sowing seed. You don't have to see them grow, but somewhere down the line, you
True.
say cast them on the water and you'll see them after many days. You just never know. May God bless your ministry. May God inspire you. May God give you vision and give you resources. People who are gonna hold your arm up. People who are gonna travel with you and keep you encouraged and gonna be there to do things when you have things to do, so that they'll make your work easy.
Yes,
I
indeed.
wish I was nearby. I wish I was nearby to be there to say, "Oh, come on, come on, come on, Shelly, come on, let's do it."
We're in the age of technology. You don't even need to be here.
You just never know, right? You'd never know. You never know. If I can be of any contribution, of any input in anything you do, don't be afraid to call on me. Don't be afraid to call me. I feel like a home guy, right? So don't be afraid to call on me.
Great.
I'm still very much connected to St. Vincent. It's almost like a first love to me. My heart still breaks now after leaving St. Vincent 28 years. I still grieve that I had to leave.
Yes.
Pastor Shelly-Ann Toney. Shelly-Ann Toney, not Anthony, Tony. I am so thankful. Kudos to all of you brothers and sisters. Don't forget you can still hit your share button because this was a great conversation. I found out so many things about this lady that I had no clue, no clue, no clue. And that's the power of Let's Talk with the Doc. We talk about things that we get to know you. What's your last word? If you have anything you want to say as your last word before we say goodbye, so you can go home to your husband and your children.
Pray for your prayers, not just for me, but for the working St. Vincent the Grenadines. We endeavor to do well. Like I said, I have some supportive persons that work with me, and I could depend on them. I could call them, and that's the spirit. That's a good thing about it. I also want to just shout out my coworker from Jamaica, Alia.
From
XR is
Jamaica.
my coworker from
Oh,
Grenada.
okay. They spread out around the
Yes,
island here. The islands, for that
yeah.
matter.
Shout out to my pastor friends from Trinidad. So Pastor Nicole on, Pastor Randall,
Wow.
and yeah, even to Angela, my niece, my daughter was on, my sister's on, Philippa. Yeah, just shout out to all my friends, all my supporters. I mean, and the thing is, they've supported me. I mean, we grew up supporting each other, and they've not turned their back. I mean, I could call Pastor Macklin, I could call Pastor Jacqueline, I could call Sister Alyssa, and that's what we want to continue to do. Just
You, you know, you know,
just work together.
one of the good thing about what I am discovering and how people are responding to you is that the Bible tells us that a king is not without honor except in his own country. But for the people in your country, in your island, to have that level of respect and willingness to cooperate and to support you, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Sometimes people are resentful and rebellious and don't want to, but it's a good feeling from where I am to see the reaction of the people from your island who are there to run with you and to hold your hand up. Your hands are not
Yeah,
feeble yet like Moses, so they don't have to lift it up. But in the literal sense, but in the spiritual sense, as they lift your hands up, I pray that God will bring you success. Thank you, Sister Silma. Excellent interview, she says. And by the way, the door is open for you too. Just to let you know,
exactly.
just to let you know,
Come on, what
you
about
were
power?
there in Bayabu when I started. You were there when you were there among the first fruits. You were there among the first fruits, and now I come to see you becoming ordained and getting
Pastor.
assignment as pastor. Are you kidding me?
Yes,
The door is open, Selma. I'm giving you the challenge to walk in it. All right, and prove to your superintendent, your district overseer, that you have the guts and the courage to come out front and talk about it. All right,
she got it.
she
She
give me
got
a
it. She
thumbs
got
up. She
it.
give me a thumbs up. All right, all right, all
She
right,
got
all
it.
right, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much, my friend, my sister, my fellow laborer. God bless you. Thank you for sharing
Thanks
this
for
time
having
with
me,
me.
Bishop.
My friends, make sure that if you're not following me on Facebook, that you follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you TikTok, go find ORB Ministries. We're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. ORB Ministries are stepping into all the doors that God opens. So, all the young people listening, if you TikTok, check out ORB Ministries and link up so you know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night. You're gonna stay where you are. I'm gonna play my outro, and then when I come back, we say goodbye offline. All right. So,
No
my
problem.
friends, if you have a great story you want to share, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have a story that you think can inspire somebody and encourage somebody, if you're young or old, if it's just didn't have to be Christian, it could be just like, I have a story, I have an experience. Some God has done something. My journey has been like this. Hey, I'd love to talk to you. Email me at orbministries@gmail.com. I'd love to chat with you. All right, Philippa, you've been on. All right, have yourself.
Shout out to Sister Elaine.
Yeah.
We had classes together at Acts.
Amen. Amen. Elaine Murphy. Okay.
Yes,
Oh, she's always on my program. She's always.
yes. We've been in classes. We've been in two classes
Oh
together, two
wow.
sets of semesters
Oh
together.
wow.
Yes.
Small world, right? I have classes with
And Prophet
members from
Smith.
St. Vincent. Okay, that's what you were saying in the acts. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. All right. Shout out to you, my friends. I will see you next time on another Let's Talk with the Doc. Next week, Monday, we continue with Let's Talk with the Doc. Take care of yourselves. Be good. And if you can't be good, be careful. Shout out to everybody. Peace be unto you. I will see you next time. All right. God bless you. Have a good evening. You stay there, Sister Shelly, and we'll say
Will
goodbye
do.
offline. Peace, my friends. Well, thank you for checking in on ORB Ministries. I trust that you will share with your friends, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and stay tuned because you never know what's next or who will join the conversation.